Let's talk about the hate organization Collective Shout. If you missed it, itch.io just delisted a whole bunch of games that are talking about. You know what, Itch? You did this really shitty. I don't even know what they're talking about. You can try to claim that this was done because of your payment processor, but any game that had the word trans in the title you removed. You removed games about cooking because they were sexual in nature or something. But be clear, the attack isn't against any games that are about sex. If they had traditional values of women's role in society, Collective Shout would be like, that's awesome. Produce babies. Shut up and produce babies. Because that's really what the group's about, Collective Shout. It is not about empowering or protecting women. And you could see this really clearly in one of their statements they had on LinkedIn. Because they tell you to go follow them on LinkedIn and you find out like some of their people aren't real. But hey, that's okay. These men have made it clear that the games endorsing violence against women are not limited to fiction. They permeate the real world attitude and behaviors and treatment of women. You notice, like, the game that's on Itch, that's talking about a trans person's life going through the struggles that they went through, is not male toxicity. Do you notice they're not actually going after male toxicity? If they wanted to go after male toxicity, they'd go after people like Grums and stuff who think you have to sexualize every single game and that women have a role of being objects in men's lives. But they're not going after that. No, because this is the thing, we all know this, right? Like early on, I had to explain this to people at Valve because they didn't quite get it because I had run communities before. But the first thing hate groups do is they adopt the appearance of the thing they hate. Right, so on Steam forums, instantly the people who were being the most racist were fake black accounts. They were like, "Hey, I'm a rapper. You can't say something about me and me being like this. I'm just dropping the N-word because that's who I am." I'm like, no, you're some white kid from Cleveland and you're just being an idiot, right? Like, and you would see that with like anybody. A lot of times when they adopt like the trans groups, a lot of early black gamers groups were purposely made to actually be hate groups, right? And they kind of hide behind that because they're like, hey, what can you do? Because they think everybody's an idiot, right? And that's the same thing Collective Shout did. Now, I don't know everybody connected with them, but I'm just like, well, who are their partners? Because that's one way that you affect change against a group is you affect the partners that they say. Ends up they have a bunch of made up partners. All right, like there's this. I reverse image searched this. I looked up the name. I looked up the sets of names and the words. I couldn't find anything about this. This is maybe some tiny Australian group. Maybe this is one person. It could just be one person because this one, Women's Voices. Oh, my God. It's a Twitter account that's Women Read Women is the name of the account. I'm not going to link to it. I'm not going to show images from it. Because guess what? It has little to do with women reading women. It has a lot to do with attacking trans people. It's a hate group. And that's why they don't actually try to do the thing they say they do, but they just act as a hate group. Now, there's a whole bunch of other groups in there. I'm not going to go through all of them. But just to have this on your page at all, which is clearly a hate account, but masquerading as a pro-feminist account, is like the classic play. And it's a classic play of hate groups, and that's what Collective Shout is, right? And we've seen this where on Waypoint did an article breaking down some of what was happening, and Vice pulled it because Vice is, of course, run by horrible men, horrible toxic men, but they're horrible toxic men who believe in traditional family values and that women exist as objects to men. So that was okay. But they removed the article and the writer has since resigned. This is the culture war that's just going to keep continuing. And this is the kind of stuff that, like, if you notice, they'll say something about Twitter. They're not actually attacking Twitter, even though that is filled with actual pornography. The games they took down weren't the games that attack women. They're games that show the extensive variety of life in people. And that's what they're against, right? They're anti-abortion, they're anti-feminist, but they're going to hide behind being a feminist and claim that, somehow reading somebody's story of growing up in a small town as a gay woman is going to, I don't know, man. Like, seriously, right? But, like, this is the playbook. Because what this causes is it causes people to argue their point. And don't argue their point. Argue their end game. Don't ever argue the details with these people. Always argue the end game, right? Because what it is they are setting out so many lies so that they can then get to their end game, right? And that is this restoration of traditional family values. Because if you're a woman and you're not producing babies, what are you good for? And in their eyes, what I just said isn't offensive or toxic.